Model context protocols, MCPs, are taking over. But let me explain to you why. Because when you build an API in like FastAPI, you write a decorator, you add some type hints, and just like that, a client can call your code. But there's a new kind of client showing up right now, and it's not just humans, right? It's AI models like Claude, Codex, whatever, and it wants to reach into your app. It wants to be able to like search data, it wants to be able to write and read for you. And the tool that lets that agent do that are the MCPs. And there's a really neat new tool called FastMCP, which allows you to do this really quick and easily. And as you might notice, it sounds a lot like FastAPI, and that's because it has a lot of the same similarities. But the main difference is that it's built for agents, not necessarily APIs. So today we're going to be building our very first MCP server from scratch. If you're new to the channel, my name is Eric Roby. I've been a software engineer for over 10 years, and I've helped over 100,000 developers learn and grow within their craft. With that, let's go ahead and jump into the first diagram, which is the difference between a browser and an AI agent. So we're probably used to a browser, right? A browser, something we've already built, like an application that uses like FastAPI, and then it goes to our API logic. Well, an MCP is different because instead of a human using like a browser, it's an AI assistant. You can think of Claude, Cursor, ChatGPT. They're contacting our MCP tool, and then our MCP tool is doing this information. So FastMCP is to MCP what FastAPI is to HTTP, right? And we're going to be building this layer. So we're going to run this a few different ways. We're going to have our demo client, which we created, but we're also going to have this MCP client. So I'm going to be doing this on Claude desktop. There's a command in FastMCP where you can just literally install it. I'm going to have my MCP running where my Claude desktop is, and it's going to spawn the own process. What that means is we don't really run it. We rely on the AI that's calling that MCP to actually run it. And we are going to get all the tools that it gives us from the dev notes, and it will return all the information back. And then we're going to request a ID of 2 from our dev notes, and it's going to give us our notes back. So STD out is the wire to get the logs. We don't need ports, we don't need Uvicorn. Like the client, which is the MCP, owns everything. So we are going to start off with a project that's already started, and then we're going to create the MCP layer on top of it. So it's already going to be a dev server or a dev notes with a Python script, and then we're going to have a MCP server that sits on top of it. So we're going to add certain information, like we're going to add our main. We're going to make sure that we add type hints and doc strings to it. And then we're going to add some logging, and then we're going to make sure that everything works. Then we're going to call it from Claude desktop, which is going to be really exciting. So let's go ahead and look at our project. All right, so before we even start, let's talk about what is the Model Context Protocol MCP. So MCP is an open source standard for connecting AI applications to external systems. And right there to that's the big thing. AI applications to external systems. So using MCP, AI applications like Claude or ChatGPT can connect to data sources like databases and files, tools like search engines and calculators, and workflows like specialized prompts, enabling them to have access key information and perform tasks. So think of MCP like a USB-C port for AI applications. Just as USB-C provides a standardized way to connect electronic devices, MCP provides a standardized way to connect AI applications to external systems. So really, you'll have information, you'll have like systems like Claude Code, or Claude Desktop, Claude Code, maybe some other AI applications that are all talking to a similar MCP. And that MCP itself might be connected to different applications. Like it might be connected to your SQL database. It might be connected to your Git repository, to Slack, to Google Maps. Think of it like a way for like your Claude code to be able to then post to Slack on your behalf. Or, you know, you could be coding something and you'll be like, hey, can you check my Postgres database to make sure that this record is in there or something like that? It would just be able to do that all for you. And you can kind of think of it like how RESTful endpoints can connect services together. So you can have like one application call another application and get data back, but that application's actually separate from the other application. You can kind of think of MCPs that way, right? So you can have your AI of choice communicate to an MCP that allows you to use a third-party system. So like right here, it says agents can access your Google Calendar and Notion, acting as a more personalized AI assistant. And it's giving a couple different scenarios on how an MCP can help. And Google also has a good overview of what MCP is. If you're not 100% sure after looking through this, which is modelcontextprotocol.io, Google has a good explanation as well, where it has like tables and can kind of go into a little bit more information. Now, I did do some thread posts where it says, is FastMCP the standard for MCP development? Where I have a few people saying yep. And then I also asked, do you know how to build an MCP? And most people said yes, but there's a big chunk. 41% of people out of this pooling said they are not sure or they don't know. Which is quite interesting because MCP is becoming a huge standard for AI engineering. Now, with that standard, there is a technology called FastMCP, which is getting a lot of publicity right now. It's getting a lot of steam and being extremely popular on how to create your own MCP. So FastMCP is a standard framework for building MCP applications. This allows you to connect LLMs to tools and data. And one thing you might notice just by looking at this right here is that it looks very similar to our beloved FastAPI framework, where we can say from FastMCP, import FastMCP. We set it up here. Instead of saying like a decorator for a REST endpoint, you'll say MCP tool, where you can then do certain things. And then we have our run. Now, one thing it does say is the creator of FastMCP got the inspiration from FastAPI, which I thought was really interesting. As FastAPI is continuing to get more popular, FastMCP is now becoming kind of like one of the standards for MCP development. So let's go ahead and build our own. Now, one thing I want to do here is just UV sync to get everything started for our draft application. But really all that's happening is we are using FastMCP inside here. So we have a couple different packages that are just kind of boilerplate that we would use for any other application. And then we're using FastMCP. So what we're doing here is we're going to be building a FastMCP. Now, the application that we're building is a dev notes application, if you will, where we have some notes in here. It's just a JSON file, but it has a couple different notes where it has an ID, title, body, and tags. We're going to expose these for large language models to be able to read. Now, our storage.py is simply our plain Python. Nothing in this file knows MCP exists. This is your app logic. The MCP server is the server.py. It's just the interface layer on top of it, exactly the way FastAPI router would be. So this is simply just where some of our information is on how we can fetch those notes. But the server.py, this is technically where our MCP lives. This is our FastMCP server. This is our dev notes. So all we need to do once you install FastMCP is say from FastMCP, import FastMCP. From app storage, import our note store. Then we want to create a new MCP, which is called our dev notes. We then have a search notes, a get note, and a add note, and we're exposing everything as MCP tools. Now, the very first thing we want to do is simply add this at the end. So if name is equal to main, well, then we want to start our mcp.run. This is the way that we can expose it so it starts it up. Now, one of the very first things that we want to do for each of these three endpoints is to give a model a menu, if you will, where we have type hints and doc strings. So right here, we just are pretty much like, hey, query limit equals 5, and that's it. We want to add a query string. So we want this to be of type string. We want the limit to be of type int. And then we want there to be a list of dictionary as the response. So just to make it a little bit quicker, I'm just going to override these. And there we have it. We are now making sure the MCP returns types and docs, which will just make the MCP better to start with. Now, one thing that is helpful when building your own MCP is adding your own logging. So up here, I'm going to say import logging. just as a standard. I do this pretty much for all applications. And this is just so we can have some type of logging enabled in our application. So right here, I'm just going to add this, which allows us to add our logging right here. And then for our get notes, we can just make this a little bit longer by adding in try and catches. And we can do the same thing for when we add. Perfect. And we never added them to our search. Probably best if we just added it right here as well, just so we have our search set up as well. Now, what we can do here is I'm going to open up my terminal and I'm going to say UV run our Python demo client.py. So our Python demo client.py, it's essentially a file. So we can read right here, exercise every dev notes tool over real stdio, exactly how an MCP client like Claude Desktop, Claude Code, Cursor talks to a real server. So if we go ahead and we just run this real quick, we can see that it went ahead and just did a bunch of runs real quick. If we scroll to the top, we can see it says FastMCP is running. We started our server of dev notes with our transport of stdio. The tool modules discovered the search notes, get note, and add notes. We have no description for the model to read, but we do have some input criteria. And right here it is able to read the notes. So right here it's reading the notes from our notes.json. And it's essentially just doing exactly what we wanted to do. And at the end, we try to get a note 999, which we know is not true. Now, again, this is not a FastAPI application, right? This is a Python application, and we are exposing it using FastMCP as the server that the AI, which is our demo client, is communicating with. Now, what about if we wanted to expose this for our Claude to be able to use? Well, we can say UV run FastMCP install on our Claude desktop. We want our app/server.py MCP. So we successfully installed dev notes in the Claude desktop. I'm going to open up my Claude desktop and we go to developer. We can see our dev notes is running. And let's go ahead and just create be like, in my dev notes MCP, what is the body and title of number ID 2? Okay, so all right, so I said in my dev notes MCP, what is the title and body of ID 2? So let's think about retrieving the note content from dev notes MCP by ID reference. This is all great signs. We want to allow access. I guess that D is my logo for this app. And there we have it. It's literally FastAPI async rule of thumb, FastAPI async rule of thumb with a body. This is all hosted on FastMCP. So I hope you're able to learn something in this video, and I will see you in the next.